I'm happy to introduce Dustin Nulf with eXp Realty, highly experienced agent, highly experienced investor. And in today's talk show, we will be discussing finding good deals in this hot sellers market. Everyone's saying there is no inventory, no homes, no investments. But I bet Dustin will prove you the opposite, right, Dustin?
Yes, sir. They're still out there.
Exactly. So maybe you would introduce yourself to the group, to investors, to agents. Tell me about your experience, how long you've been doing this, what's your background?
Okay, sounds good. So in 2008, well, roughly it was the end of 2007, I was in the process of getting my real estate license, and I was moving out of restaurant management, fast food management, because I had read a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad that we're all probably very familiar with.
Love that
and
book.
Yeah, I like the idea of real estate. I like the idea of owning and investing in real estate mainly. So I decided to get a real estate license so I could learn more about real estate. And then I kind of figured if I had my license, I'd have access to the MLS, and I'd be able to find deals and use the MLS to my advantage. So in 2008, I moved into the world of real estate sales, and I bought my first investment property. So I was my first client, and focused on just kind of learning about that first year. That was the only deal that I did. And by the time I was done with the year, I had ran out of money, and I was like, man, how am I going to buy more properties? I want to buy more properties. And I figured if I got good at sales, I could make money at sales and then use that money to reinvest and buy more properties. And I mean, that's kind of where it went in a nutshell. Was I built a sales team, I bought properties along the way, and then I built a property management company and partnered with my ex-partner back in 2014, because we both had too many properties to manage on our own anymore. And we decided that it was time to, partner up and hire a property manager to work for us. So here we are today. I own 21 rental properties. We manage 350 units in and around Allegheny County for landlords. And then my sales team is at, I think, about 15 agents, and we sold 131 transactions last year.
Wow.
With about half that many agents.
That's very impressive in terms of portfolio, in terms of sales, and in terms of all the experience that you have. What I hear, you've been in good times and bad times. And I want to continue with the topic that we proposed for this video. How do you see the market, real estate market right now, local market and the national market? Where do you think this all going to go to? Are we in a bubble, or we're in a smooth transition to more of a neutral market? What's your expectations? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect anymore, Having lived through 2008, 2008 was an interesting experience. At the time, the market shift did not mean that much to me, because I didn't have a lot invested in the stock market. I didn't have a lot invested in real estate. So, it's a different sort of scenario now. But in 2008, you could see, when the stock market crashed, the real estate market crashed shortly after that. So it was like stock market went first, real estate market went second. And where we are right now, it's looking pretty sketchy as far as the stock markets go. I don't know how that's going to reflect into real estate. I have heard people say that, we've got all these forbearances and stuff that are kind of adding up from the COVID lockdowns. And then I hear other people saying, foreclosure rates are at all-time lows. So I don't know. It's sketchy out there right now. It can only go good for so long. and what goes up must come down. So I have been saying for the last several years that we've got to see a downturn at some point in the real estate market.
Thank you for this great answer. What I 100% with you on that. It's very difficult to predict any changes right now. The only thing I can add, I personally don't expect another 2008 happening anytime soon right now, with the amount of equity that homeowners own right at this moment with all the increased prices. And that leads to the next question. We know in the hottest market, 2021 was great. I'm looking forward to 2022 with even more positive optimism. But on the flip side, for agents, for investors, for wholesalers, it becomes more and more difficult to find the right deal, find that off-market property, find the person who wants to list. And we need to be more creative in this competitive market with such a low inventory on how to get these deals. So would you share some of your secrets on getting listings, getting off-market properties, getting this creative side of real estate, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open as an investor. I'm open to any sort of opportunity that comes to me as far as properties go. So I personally do work with wholesalers. I will, buy a deal from another agent and happily pay that agent a commission. We do direct marketing, as an agent and as a sales team, we're already marketing to sellers to try to get listings. And in some instances, we go and look at a property and it's like, this is a good deal. If you would take this, I would buy it. Right. So I think that the big thing is to be able to approach it from multiple different angles. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of investors they get a niche going and they have one thing that they do that works really well. But the thing is when the market changes, that niche can no longer, it may not function anymore. It may not work the same anymore. And that's why it's good to kind of do more of a shotgun effect and have multiple different lead sources for properties, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, it does make sense. And you absolutely in line with my thoughts on this. I would always recommend to, especially newer, either agents or investors, have as many lines in the water as possible. When fishermen goes to the lake for fishing, they typically take several hooks, several spinners to increase their chances. So having as many hooks in the water as possible at any given time, that would be one of the success indicators in the real estate business, regardless if you're an investor, wholesaler, or real estate agent. All right, well, very good. Tell me a little more about your investing side. Do you have any specific criteria when you buy? Are you buy and hold or you flip? What's your model?
Yeah, my model for the most part is buy and hold, and I've been following the 𝙍 method.
Okay.
So when I first started, I didn't know what the 𝙍 method was, and I kind of I have always been a stubborn person. So instead of me actually going out there and seeking out knowledge, I wanted to learn firsthand. And it kind of accidentally came upon the 𝙍 method by buying good deals, and then they were worth more money later. And I did a cash out refinance, and I was like, oh, this is nice. I like this. So then after I got my feet wet and got a taste for it, I started researching more about how to do it more effectively, built a better network of lenders, hard money lenders, and that sort of stuff, and got more consistent with the 𝙍 method. I flipped only 2 properties in 15 years, and hindsight, I thought them and I think, man, I should have just held on to them because they would have been worth a lot more in just a few years after we had sold them. So I'm not a big fan of flipping. To me, flipping is a rat race. It's very similar to sales. Like you're in sales, you go after a listing, you get a listing, you put it on the market and it sells. Well, you've got income now, but now you got to go get another listing. And flipping's the same way. You got to find another property, and then you've got to put all that effort into it, and you get it up on the market and sell it. Once it's gone, the income's gone. You get that one hit of income. So I really do like the 𝙍 method because you get cash flow from the long-term hold, but you're also getting that equity bump if you buy it right and then refinance it later. You're getting that cash out equity bump that is helpful as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I always love to say that joke, don't wait to buy real estate and wait, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much proves your words. All right. Well, Dustin, I know you own a huge real estate team under umbrella of eXp. So we discussed that one of the ways of finding creative deals could be easily come from MLS, and being a real estate agent, following your path when you got your license would be also an opportunity for newer investors to jump in real estate, sell homes for others, and then hunt for these good deals. So what benefits your company and your team offers to these type of investors?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have, and that's the thing, is because that was my model, I do tend to attract agents on my team that are following that same model. They are investors themselves. And I think, there's an advantage to being able to access the MLS and kind of do it on your own. And then for the investors that don't want to get a real estate license, they should definitely be partnering up with an experienced investor agent or an agent that knows about investing. Because those deals right now, the funny thing is like, I look at it like when I started doing direct mail marketing, I did direct mail marketing because it was old school. But the thing was, it was so old school that nobody was doing it anymore. So when I started doing it, I started getting good results from it because everybody else had stopped doing it. So the same thing goes like right now. A lot of investors aren't buying off the MLS because it's on market, it's overpriced. Well, just because it's on the market doesn't mean that it's overpriced. There are opportunities that are still out there. And whether you have a license or you're tapping into somebody who has a license, the right person can help you get those on-market deals for the price that you need them. So the deals that we would be looking for and that I look for are, it's been on the market for a month. Like right now, if a property's been on the market for more than a couple of days, there's something wrong, right? And a lot of times with a property that's not selling, it's either not marketed correctly or it's overpriced. And either one of those things can work to your advantage when you're an investor. So, let's say that a listing agent put it on the market and they did a bad job marketing the property. So it's got like bad pictures. It looks like it's a dated property and it's not desirable. That could be an advantage for an investor because now it's getting stale and it's sitting there. And the sellers are starting to think, man, something's wrong. Like what we need to sell this property and it's not selling. So you could bring them an offer for 75% of list price cash with short inspection contingency or no inspection contingency, and they may jump on that. So it's worth a shot. And a lot of people aren't even trying that right now because it's a seller's market and you've got to bring your A game when you bring an offer. So there are opportunities out there, and I've seen them happen. I've seen listings of mine bring an offer where I thought it was too low and the seller took it. And then the same goes for the overpriced listing. If it's overpriced and it's sitting there and the seller's starting to get desperate and the agent may not be doing the best job of getting price reductions or advising to that client's best interest, that is a potential advantage for you as the investor or you as the agent who's working with the investor to say, this could be a potential deal for us. Let's bring them an offer.
100%. 100%, Dustin. It's exactly like that. And if you're planning, and I'm talking to my audience, if you're planning to be an investor, it's very important to hold the market in your daily tasks. In other words, having access to MLS, having access to such a knowledgeable realtor investor as Dustin would be absolutely necessity, especially if you're just starting. Plus, in this hot market, selling real estate, especially under Dustin's team, that would make that first cash flowing income in order to put the money for the down payment, have saved money for renovations, etc., etc. And that would be another opportunity for you guys as my followers on Facebook to connect with Dustin and talk to him what benefits he can offer within his team and get even more information about current market conditions. For this interview today, I want to say thank you, Dustin, for participating. I really appreciate your time and your knowledge that you shared with us today. And I hope you stay engaged with all the audience here in Mastermind Group. And we will finish. If you want to say the last words before we finish the interview, you're more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say thank you for having me. And you know, for the investors out there that are looking for deals, you know, don't be afraid to make that offer, and keep your options open, because they are still out there. They're still happening, but you got to stick to your criteria and keep a wide net.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks again, Dustin. I really appreciate it. I'll see you around, and hope we'll schedule another webinar sometime.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.